Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype online. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming. Layers of the being and psychology. Going within, layers of the being and psychology. As such, man lives is a 7-storied building or 7-storied ladder or 7 rungs. The first is the body. You are in the body, but you are not the body. You live in the house, but you are not the house. Your body is the outer covering, it is the house where the spirit, where the soul lives. But body is not the soul. Let it be continuously remembered, a continuous remembrance in you, continuous awareness in you. You are in the body. It is a beautiful abode. Remember, I am not for a single moment against the body. I am not hinting anything to be antibody. You have to take care of it. You have to nourish and nurture it, keep it healthy, so that all that is within manifests. Whatever I am within manifests through the face, the voice, the expressions. So body is the outer covering, and it is an important instrument. You have to take care of it. But the so-called spiritualists, they deny the body. Materialists go on thinking that body is all, and there are people who move to opposite extremes. They start saying body is illusion, body is not, destroy the body. So the illusion is destroyed and you can really become real. Whatever you have to do, you have to do within the boundaries of the house. You have to do the cooking, if that be your passion. You have to do in the kitchen. Kitchen is the part of the house. You have to do your computer analysis. You have to do in your office, which is part of the house. You have to defecate. You have to use the place in the house. Everything that you have to do, there is a place for it. If you have to rest, you have to go to the bedroom, which is part of the house, which is in the house. You cannot do otherwise. It is a very important aspect. It is a very important layer which cannot be denied. It needs to be taken care of. But the spiritualists say destroy the body. The other extreme is a reaction. This other extreme is the reaction. The materialists create his own reaction in the spiritualist, but they are in a way partner in the same business. They are different. Body is beautiful, is real, it has to be lived, it has to be loved. It is the gift of the God. All that happens, the process of digestion, process of breathing, process of relaxation, it happens in the body. Not for a single moment be against it. Not for a single moment to think that you are only the body. You are far bigger. Use the body as the jumping board. When you go for diving, there is a jumping board, you take a dive, you take a jump over it, you flip over, or whichever you want to take a dive into the swimming pool, you do that. The body is the jumping board. You can use it. You can make the body strong. You can become a wrestler. You develop other skills. You can become a painter. You can become a mathematician. All that is developing the body in a particular way. It is important. Do not neglect it. Take care of it. The second layer is psychosomatic, which corresponds to the second chakra according to Hindu calendar, the Swadhisthana, the water center. There are psychologists who are at this level. Freudian analysts function from here. It goes a little higher than Skinner and Pavlov. Freud enters into the mysteries of the psychological in a little more. He is not a behaviorist like Skinner and Pavlov. He never goes beyond the dreams. His whole emphasis is on analyzing the dream. Dream exists as an illusion in you. Whatsoever you do, certain part of is recorded, is understood by the conscious mind. Whatever is not understood, that goes into this deeper layer, which is subconscious and unconscious. And the film goes on. You have done something, you have been a part of an active scene. When you come back and relax, you start reflecting back onto this. This is a dreaming process. During the day, your conscious mind is operating. In the night, you are operating through subconscious and unconscious mind. Body is at rest, but the mind is not. It continues the scenes one after the other. It is indicative, it is symbolic. It has a message from the unconscious to be revealed, to be brought to the conscious. It gives an indication, a message, which conscious mind need to interpret. But there is no point in getting caught into it. Use the dream, but do not become the dream. You are not the dream, and there is no need to make so much fuss about it, as Freudians have done it. The followers of the Freudian school of psychoanalysis. Take a note of it. Take a very clear standpoint about it. Understand its message, and there is no need really to go to anyone for the analysis of the dream. Your dream is so personal that nobody can dream the way you dream. Nobody has ever dreamt the way you dream. Nobody has. So how can anyone explain to you about your dream? They will be using certain criteria to explain, to analyze. Only you can look into it. And in fact, there is no need to analyze the dream. Look at the dream in its totality with clarity alertness, and you will see the message. It is so loud. There is no need to go to a psychoanalyst or priest or anyone for that matter. A person who is dreaming every night and in the day he goes to the psychoanalyst to be analyzed becomes by and by surrounded by the dreamy stuff. Just as first becomes too much obsessed with the first center, which is the earth center, the second becomes too much obsessed with the sexual, because the second, the realm of psychoanalysts' reality is sex. The second starts interpreting everything in terms of sex. Whatever you do, go to the Freudian and he will reduce it to the sex. Nothing higher than that exists for Freud. He lives in the mud. He does not believe in lotus, that lotus can grow out of the mud. During the moments of sex, if you are introspective, you go through various stages, you learn many things. You bring, but Freud does not believe in lotus. He cannot accept that, think that lotus can grow out of mud. You bring a lotus flower to him, he will look at it and reduce it to mud. He will say it is nothing but mud. Has it not come out of mud? If it had come out of the dirty mud, then it is nothing more than the mud. Reduce everything to its cause is the way of pride. Reduce everything to its cause, not the effect. Every poem is reduced to sex. Everything beautiful is perverted and reduced to sex. Michelangelo is a great artist. Then his art has been reduced to sexuality. Freudians go to an absurd length. They say artists like Michelangelo, Goethe or Byron, their work which is being appreciated by millions, is nothing but repressed sex. That is what it is. Millions of people is stopped at that level. It is absurd, but Freud is the master of the world of toilets. He lives there. That is his temple. He becomes, and art becomes psychology, poetry becomes pathology, everything becomes perversion in the hands of Freud. If Freudian analysis succeeds, there would be no Shakespeare, no Kalidas, no Michelangelo, no Mozart, no Wagner. Everything would be normal. These are abnormal people. Their psychology is sick. The greatest is reduced to the lowest. Buddha is sick according to Freud, because whatsoever things he is talking about, Freud says is nothing else but repressed sex. This approach reduces human beings to human greatness to ugliness. Beware of it. Buddha is not sick. Jesus is not sick. But in fact, Freud is sick. Freud is sick. The silence of Buddha, the joy of Buddha, the celebration of Buddha is not ill, instead full of well-being. It is rejoicing. But to Freud, the normal person is one who never sang a song, who never danced, who never celebrated, never prayed, never meditated, never done anything creative. Such a person is normal. Goes to the office, comes home, eats, drinks, sleeps and dies. Leaves not a trace of creativity behind, leaves not a single signature anywhere. Normal person seems to be according to this a mediocre person, dull and dead. There is suspicion about Freud that because he himself could not create, Freud was an uncreative person. He was condemning creativity itself as pathology. To him, anything creative was an act of pathology. There is every possibility that he was a mediocre person. It is his mediocrity that feels offended by all the great people of the world, and he has attained a certain status, so he goes on condemning that. Mediocre mind is the one that reduces all greatness. Mediocre mind cannot accept that there can be anything greater than him. That hurts. It is a revenge from the mediocre. This whole psychoanalysis, its interpretation of human life is pathetic. Be aware of it. It is better than the first, a little ahead of the first. But one has to go and continue moving beyond and beyond. The first layer, the physical, do not condemn it. Understand the second. The third is psychological. At this layer, there are psychologists like Adler. He lives in the world of the psychological, the will to power, at least something very egoistic, but at least something a little more open than reducing everything to sex. Elder goes on reducing everything to inferiority complex. Freud reduces everything to sex. Elder reduces everything to inferiority complex. People try to become great because there is inferiority complex in them. A person trying to become enlightened is the person who is feeling inferior. And a person trying to become enlightened is a person who is on a power trip. This is also utterly wrong, because we have seen people like Buddha, Christ, Krishna, Krishnamurti, Ramakrishna, who are utterly surrendered, that their trip cannot be called in any way ego trip. And when Buddha blossoms, he has no idea of superiority complex in him at all. Everything is holy, even the dust is divine. He is not thinking himself to be superior, neither Jesus, nor Krishnamurti, nor anyone else. Buddha was born as a king. There is no question of inferiority in him. He was at the top from the very beginning. There was no question of inferiority of any kind. He was the richest man in the country, the most powerful, most beautiful man ever born on the earth. He had one of the most beautiful women as his wife. All was available to him. But elder goes on searching for some inferiority complex because he could not believe that a man could have any goal other than ego. He centers around ego. It is better. He is better than Freud, a little higher. Ego is somewhat higher than sex. Not much, a little. So this is the third layer, and its psychological connection is with elder. The first, behaviorist, is Skinner and Pavlov. The second, Sigmund Freud. The third is the layer which is connected with elder. Now fourth layer is psycho-spiritual, which is the heart center or anhat. Carl Gustav Jung, Asagoli and others penetrate that realm. They go higher than Pavlov, higher than Freud, higher than elder. They have opened more possibilities. They accept the world of irrational, the unconscious. They do not confine themselves to reason. They are more reasonable persons. They accept everything. They accept irrational. It is not denied in their analysis, instead accepted. This is where modern psychology stops. Beyond this, the psychology fails. At the fourth rung, which is in the middle, if it is a 7 stories, 7 rungs, so fourth is in the middle. That's where psychology fails. Beyond this, it cannot go. And the fourth rung is just in the middle of the whole ladder. 3 are below: the physical, the sex, and the ego. Beyond, then comes the fourth, which is heart center. Beyond this is 3. According to chakra analysis, beyond this is throat center, the center of expression, the command center, the third eye, and the 1000 petal, the freedom, the ultimate freedom. The fourth is the middle, exactly in the middle of the whole ladder. 3 are below and 3 are above. Modern psychology is not a complete science as yet. It is happening in the middle. It is very shaky, not certain about anything. It is more hypothetical then experimental. It is still struggling to be. The fifth is the spiritual. Islam, Hinduism, Christianity, all the mass organized religions remain stuck with the fifth layer, which is the center of expression. If the center of expression, it can express itself as a Hindu philosophy or Christian or Muslim philosophy. They do not go beyond this. All the organized religions, churches, they remain stuck at this level. The fifth layer. The sixth is spiritual, transcendental. The fifth is spiritual. So you are a spiritual Hindu way or Christian way or Islamic way. All the churches, temples and the so-called religions are stuck at this level. Sixth is the spiritual, transcendental. Yoga and other methods, they come within its purview. All over the world, down the ages, many methods have been developed which are less like a church organization, which are not dogmatic. They are experimental. You have to do something with the body and the mind. You have to create a certain harmony between the body and mind within yourself. You have to create a certain harmony within yourself so that you can ride the harmony. You can ride the cloud of harmony and go away from your ordinary reality. Yoga can comprehend all that. This is the sixth layer. And the seventh is transcendental tantra. The seventh you go beyond it is Tantra, Tao, Zen, Buddha's approach is of the seventh layer of the rung. And the seventh layer is known as Prajna Paramit, wisdom beyond wisdom. It means wisdom that is transcendental, wisdom that comes to you only when all the bodies are crossed. You have become nothing else but pure awareness, just a witness, pure subjectivity. There is no subject, there is no object, just a pure subjectivity. Unless man reaches to the transcendental, he will have to be provided with toys, sugar sticks and candies. He will have to be provided with false meanings. This is how the psychology and the various layers are connected to one another. This you have to understand. We will continue this in tomorrow's session. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.